And we're off.
We are off. We're live. Thanks everyone for waiting for us to go live. I don't know if it's actually streaming to YouTube or Facebook yet, but it says we're live.
Yeah, good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough, or not, whatever.
This is a blaring hot Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it really is.
The AC unit upstairs went out.
Yeah.
And I got to deal with that.
Yep.
It's June.
It's episode Dirty 30.
This is episode 30.
Yep.
This is episode XXX, baby.
Yep, that's right. So buckle up. I'm Jonathan.
Nick.
And we are the Gosslings. And this is our weekly live stream that we do just about writing and about whatever's going on in our indie author lives. And then whatever else sort of, crosses our streams.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. We go off the rails.
Yeah.
We get into the fringe stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Into the weeds.
We will talk about writing. That is important.
We will
talk about being self-published, independent authors, because that is the main thing.
As the core.
But we also have some interests. We share some similar interests with like a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we might drop some Sasquatch on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some blurry creatures.
Yeah, blurry creatures. Those dudes, these are awesome. New favorite podcast.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're great. We might talk UFOs. We might talk about Dogman or Nephilim or something like that. We might get into that stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun to write about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a rich environment, because it's like there are rules, but there aren't rules. So it's like there's pre-established lore and mythology that you can deal with, but you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's
we don't know.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Until it's in Encyclopedia Britannica, I do what I want.
That's right.
It's my hot body. I do what I want.
That's right.
Or
you can just take something that does exist and screw up all the rules of physics and history.
Right.
And call it fantasy.
Yeah.
And it works.
Alternate history.
Yeah.
Who's to say there wasn't some magical weapons in the Third Crusade?
Yeah, that's the beauty of being a fiction author.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kill people in the past from your past that offended you.
Yeah, it's been great. I wrote a chapter for Sasquatchalypse a while back. That was basically just like a distant family member of one of my friends who's in the book. And I was talking to him about it, and he was telling me all about this horrible, degenerate, low-life parasite in his family, And I was like, dude, I'll just make him a character and just have, like, the Sasquatch just, rip him to pieces,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
And, like, the first thing he told me when he wrote me back was, like, that's the longest chapter you've done. It's like, you spent more time on that, dirt bag.
You gave it the most attention.
Yeah.
The most detail.
Yeah, I did. I was picking his brain too. Well, and I wrote it first.
It's gratuitous of you.
It was very gratuitous. I wrote it first, and then I went back and told him what I was writing before I sent it to him. Yeah. And it turns out, like, I was far too gentle on the guy. Yeah. And my buddy had to give me a list of other details.
Oh man, well, chapter's got to be longer.
Yeah, it had to be to properly do that dirt leg justice.
Do you bring him back, like resurrect him, and then he gets killed again by?
No, I did have the guy when they come upon his mangled corpse.
Okay, so far so good.
Yeah, and at first they can't identify the body because he's so mangled. They're tracking the Sasquatch.
Okay.
And so they're like one or two steps behind the Sasquatch as they try to track it, And they come upon the mangled body, and it's not until he sees like the gauged earlobes and the ratty tattoos and like the methy mouth that he's like, and then he checks the car and the license or the driver or the license plate and then the registration and everything is like, yeah, I know who this is.
Okay.
This is my, whatever. And Roman, who, Roman Coke, who's kind of the main character. He's kind of like the Gandalf type. Yeah. He sort of like puts his hand on his shoulder and he's like, I'm really sorry for your loss. And he's like, the only thing I've lost is that I got robbed. Sasquatch did this to me. Sasquatch got to him before I could get. I've been dreaming 30 years of doing this. In fact, the phrase I used which I did not come up with, which my buddy's daughter came up with, who's genius, is he comes up, he inspects it, reveals it, and then he looks at it and says, "Squatch blocked."
Squatch block. Hashtag squatch block.
Hashtag squatch block.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Episode 30.
That's I need some water. That's great. That is, I guess there is a silver lining to meth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
At least it makes your dental records easy to identify.
Oh, dude, I got a funny story about that later. So,
all right.
Let's go ahead and do the toast.
Yes.
We'll get in.
Real quick, Adam and D are on. Greetings.
What's up, Adam? What's
Thank
up,
you
D?
for joining. And Delta.
Doing? Yeah, what's up, Delta?
And Jason Swift.
Jason is here.
Dude.
Oh, boy, Jason, I got such a good story.
We got the whole club, man.
Yeah, man. Jason, if only I could have had you down where I was yesterday, you would have had so much fun.
You know why we have so many people?
Times.
You know why we have so many people watching?
Why?
Because of the heat.
Yeah,
nobody wants to go outside and do anything. They're like,
and you know what? I know what Jason was doing earlier today, and let me tell you, he is done with being outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Jason has been wrangling some monkeys outside. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I know what Jason's been doing. Yeah. Good on you, sir, for surviving it. But anyways, so every week we do this live stream 4:30 Central Standard Time on Sundays, and part of the ritual is we do a toast. So if you have any alcoholic beverage, lift it, and the toast is sort of our mantra that we say. What are we drinking today?
Today's bourbon is Wheeler's Raid Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Oh, nice.
So it's bourbon whiskey, right?
Yeah.
Aged 3 years, 7 months. It was distilled in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Bottled here, bottled in Nolensville, not here, but in Nolensville, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
But still somehow called a bourbon.
Interesting.
Because bourbons have to come from Kentucky.
Yeah. Jason, weigh in on that. You're the bourbon.
Yeah, I thought it had to be like bottled or distilled in Kentucky to be called a bourbon.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to drive through Kentucky from Indiana.
Maybe that's what it is.
Here.
Yeah, maybe they drive through Kentucky.
It's the meth particles in the air. That's what it is.
Yeah. Is it the Indiana meth or is it the Kentucky meth?
Oh, it's the Kentucky meth.
Kentucky meth, yeah.
Those dudes are freaks.
Yeah. Oh, Jason's got some stories, baby. Cornbread Mafia coming at you. So,
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Anyways, yep. Here we go. Raise your glass, and I'll start this time, I guess. And so I'll say the first half, and if you're with us, say the second half. Take up the broken sword of your father.
And strike down the darkness. Cheers. Oh, I forgot to stick my pinky out.
Yeah, pinky's out. Come on.
That's different.
It's pretty mild.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. It's mild, but it's not watered down. But it's got a nice afterburn.
It tastes like... You want my honest opinion?
Yeah. Tastes like dog piss.
It tastes like...
Squatch piss.
No, it tastes like vodka.
It does kind of taste like vodka.
It's got a vodka kind of taste to it.
Yeah.
It's 100 proof.
Yeah.
It's yellow.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of like corn and whatever else in there, but it's like it's mainly vodka.
It's just vodka with like some gold food coloring.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. So this would be a good thing to mix if you like rum and Coke.
Yeah.
You know.
Jason says it's young. Is that what it is? Is that what gives it that
51% corn?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit corny.
It's young. That's what it is. Young. Yeah. Because I said 3 years and 7 months.
Yeah.
So that's reasonably young, I guess.
Yeah. What is Jason? What is and Delta? You can weigh in on this too. For bourbon specifically, what is the optimal year to go with without spending an exorbitant amount of money? So like a medium. Is it like 10 years? Is it 15 years? Is it 18 years?
I'm going to say 7 years. I'm guessing. I don't know. I guess it's the perfect
I bet
number.
10. I'd wager 10. And then Adam, if you want to give the same opinion for Scotch, I'd be interested to know. Adam had some really, really interesting Scotch recommendations I got to jump on. 12 years or 8 minimum. Yeah.
8 minimum. Okay. All right.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess we've discovered how cheap I am when I go to the store de liqueur.
Look, you gotta roll with what you got. Look,
which ain't much right now.
If you guys want us to drink better bourbon, then buy
our books. There it is.
Buy my book.
There it is.
Buy my book.
Oh my gosh.
That's the grift. That's the angle. You're
Yeah.
like, you save us from this cheap ass bourbon. Buy our book. You know.
Yeah, it's so cheap that
It's pretty good
we
though.
should probably just get rid of it.
Yeah, we'll get rid of the evidence. Like by the end of the day, this will have never existed. You know.
Woo, man.
Well, you want to do typewriter one-offs?
Yeah, let's do one-offs.
Yeah. So every week we type up a thing on our typewriters and we read it. And then in order for me not to steamroll right over Nick with my type A personality like I always do, did you write that one on that?
Actually, I wrote it on the Underwood.
Oh, yeah?
I just felt like kissing a typewriter.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So I went with Rose.
Yeah, kiss
She's
the
hot.
ring. Yeah. Rose. Yeah.
I called it Rose.
Yeah, that's fair. So in order not to totally dominate this, we leave it up to the Lord and chance. And
We cast lots.
Yeah, we cast lots. Yeah, we do.
We cast
scissors.
flesh lots is
Yeah.
what we do.
That's right. So
Sounds nasty.
yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, this is the Dirty 30 episode, so I ain't no telling what you guys are gonna
The
get.
Goslings Dirty 30.
Yeah, the Goslings are turned Dirty 30, baby. You know what's it gonna be? You know.
I love it.
I mean, we might not even have our shirts on by the end of the stream. Who knows?
Well, one of us
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. You don't want to wash out the camera.
Yeah.
I tan easier than he does, so
Yeah.
you know.
This is you can see this is the real color right here. I'm getting whiter by the second.
The fishy underbelly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So,
I hate the sun, especially right now. It's hot.
it's just brutal out, man. I was changing I was telling him I was changing my battery earlier today on my Jeep, and like, dude, I was just sweating my nuts off out there.
Oh, the humidity right now.
And I wasn't out there
awful.
more than 10 minutes. I'm a fat kid, so I'm a sweater at heart anyways. But gosh, man, yeah, the humidity is just, whatever. Welcome to Tennessee, man.
Yeah. Even my 9-year-old daughter came in the other day. She was like, "Daddy, I have sweat everywhere." I said, "I know, it's hot out." She goes, "No, Dad,
Everywhere.
everywhere."
Well, shower.
And then she went like this. I'm like, I got it. You don't need to say anything else.
Message received, kid. Yep. She's
All right.
cute, man. She's funny.
Oh yeah, she said, and I posted this on Instagram, but last week actually, coming home from church, both kids were in the back seat. I was driving, and Eva May, we just got out of church, right? And she's staring out the window, and she's pondering deep things of the spirit.
Right.
And she goes, "Daddy,"
How old is she?
she's 9.
9. Okay.
She goes, "Daddy, why did God make fingernails?" And without missing a beat, I said, "So you could pick your nose."
Yeah, awesome. Good.
And there was 3 seconds of silence. I look up in the rearview mirror, and both her and Christian, my son, are sitting like this.
Oh, yeah. Just,
with these exploratory looks on their faces, like they're checking
what
it
is
out.
that?
And
What
Eva
could
May
be
goes,
on there?
her fingers
Yeah.
up her nose. She says, "Oh yeah, good point."
Well, she's always
And
been
Christian's over there like, "Yeah, touche."
Yeah, well, makes sense to me. Yeah. She's always been like a little bit of a nose picker, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian was the pick it and eat it.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. We broke him at that, but
Yeah.
but her, she does it just recreationally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when no one's looking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when they are.
Yeah. I was gonna say who can judge you in the dark, but apparently she doesn't care
She
when
doesn't.
she's in the light either.
She
so,
doesn't. Such a little lady.
Yeah. That's all right. She'll be fine.
She will. Yeah, she'll be fine, and hopefully she won't get married. Keep it up. That's why I'm
Yeah.
not correcting her. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, maybe this will repel.
Yeah. No, all that's gonna do is attract the wrong kind of dude.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
point.
there ain't no avoiding that, buddy. You can just,
Yeah.
you can do damage control, or you can just let the whole thing blow up.
There are some
Yeah.
dudes that see a knotted oak, and that's enough.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I've had them on the other side of the counter. We'll get to that in a little while. Yeah.
Speaking of lowlifes,
hmm
let's do our one-offs.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick,
Yeah.
Adam says for Scotch, anything between 10 and 12 years is fine. Yeah, that tracks. 12-year, at least 10 as a minimum sounds about right. Oh, here.
It's okay, I got it.
And then, yeah, David says man boob sweat. Yeah.
Oh, I get it bad. That's just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get the I get right under here,
I do too.
and then right here, and then right here. Yeah, all the areas where the brown sugar is congealed.
It'd be cool if it was on the sides going up, because it would make it look like I have a chest.
Right.
But it doesn't. It goes like this, so it looks like my boobs are going.
Yeah.
You know.
Get some nice National Geographic action going.
I got the National Geographic
the
boobies.
Nat Geo boobs. Dirty 30. So, okay.
I love it. Oh yeah, we got
one-ups.
Right. Let's see who goes first. Ready?
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Yeah. All right. Off you go.
Dang it.
Yep.
Dang it. All right. Here we go. Let me just quickly explain.
Mm-hmm.
This is written from the perception of Easel Bancroft, who's a homeschool kid, 6th grader.
Yeah.
He's homeschooled all his life, but in the 6th grade, circumstances require him to go to public school for the first time ever. 6th grade, public school, first time.
So out of the bubble and thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the wolves, the bully, is named Doug McDonough.
Cool.
Okay?
Okay.
That's all I need to say. You're late, Easel, Mrs. Webb grimaces. Sit down. She points to my desk in the 2nd row with her yardstick. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I say. I move gracefully to my desk, head held high, nose aloft. I adopt a slow pace as well. This gives me an air of confidence. I'm not going to scurry like some public school rat. Nose bent to the ground. Dignity. Always dignity. Sit down, Mrs. Webb shrieks in frustration. She slams the yardstick on her wooden desk. Every kid in the class jumps in their seat, and my own confidence cracks. I find my feet uncontrollably running to my desk. There's something about that yardstick. I take my seat as Mrs. Webb begins her lesson. Since the day I first met Mrs. Webb, the tone of her voice has never changed. Frustration. Regardless of what's going on around her, what she is talking about, or who she is talking to, she always sounds frustrated and angry. And the volume is always the same, loud. She's an ogre of a human being, if she's a human being at all. Teaching a lesson to a classroom full of children, loud and frustrated. Ordering a Big Mac in the drive-thru, loud and frustrated. Saying her bedtime prayers, loud and frustrated. The thought of her doing all these things makes me giggle. She's a dark storm of grouchy demands wherever she goes. And she's fat. That's a gross understatement. But she's gross, so there you are. Shall I elaborate on how massively rotund our beloved Mrs. Webb is? Well, let's just say that people don't sit near Mrs. Webb in a restaurant. They sit among her.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that she depleted an entire McDonald's restaurant of all the McGriddles in a single trip through the drive-thru in one time. That's absurd, of course, because we all know she can't fit in the drive-thru. As a matter of fact, no one really knows what vehicle she drives to get to school. Vehicles of that size require special licensing and certainly wouldn't fit in a drive-thru lane. I'm guessing Amtrak. Possibly an airlift. You get the idea. She's big. And because she's so big, she gets tired very quickly. And when she gets tired, she gets cranky. She was already cranky when I walked in 2 minutes late for class. Getting back to her yardstick, it's a tool of necessity. You see, she's so round and large, she can't reach the chalkboard with her arms. So she points with the yardstick. And there's a piece of fresh chalk taped daily to the end of it so that she might write on the board. So when she does write, it's in huge, sweeping cursive letters. I think of her trying to use my Royal Quiet Deluxe typewriter, her stubby arms hopelessly reaching for the keys, like a T-Rex. The thought of it tickles my pickle, and I laugh out loud by mistake. Something funny, Mr. Bancroft, yells Tyrannosaurus Webb. No, ma'am, I respond with perfect fricking forced humility. I really should be an actor. Then what are you laughing at? She begins to waddle her massive round form in my direction. On a map, you see, children sit due east of Mrs. Webb, but I digress. I was just laughing at something I read. A note, says I. Passing notes in my class, the mighty T. Webb bellows as she approaches. I grab my pencil so her gravitational pull doesn't yank it from my desk. It was sitting on my desk and said, pass it on. So I did, I lie. The girl behind me falls under the gaze of the terrible T. Webb and shakes her head. She didn't have the note. Kid by kid, T. Webb glares at the students, searching for the culprit who has the note that made me laugh. McDonough, she bellows. What's that in your hand? I turn to look, and sure enough, big dumb Doug McDonough is holding the letter I had planted on his desk. It's crumpled in his fist and behind his back. But Tyrannosaurus Webb has caught the scent of mischief and is on the hunt. The prey, now cornered in his metal chair, squirms a bit. I do love it when my enemies squirm. I bet it's a love letter, I say aloud, helping this circus along. The room erupts in laughs and giggles, but Doug's face goes red and he shoots murderous glances at me. Fortunately for yours truly, mighty Madam McGriddle stands between me and McDonough. Hand it to me, McGriddle extends her bacon grease-stained palm. I don't think you'll like what it says, Mrs. Webb, Doug pleads. Did I also mention how much I love to see my enemies beg? Hand it to me, the T. Webb shrieks, as she swats Doug's meaty shoulder with her yardstick. The fresh chalk dislodges and goes spinning across the classroom. He yields and hands her the crumpled letter. Without a word, she turns, or rather rotates on her axis, and heads back to the front of the classroom. The long voyage must have exhausted her, as she takes a full minute to catch her breath. Let's see what this love letter says, shall we, class? She grins with malicious delight. I'd never seen her smile before, but now I know what a McGriddle sees just before it dies. This is going rather well, I smile to myself. I lean back in my chair and interlace my fingers behind my head. Should have popped some popcorn for this, I muse. T. Webb holds the note up and clears her throat, but fails to read aloud the contents of the letter. Instead, her round, moon-shaped, moon-colored, and moon-sized face begins to flush with rage. You see, the letter I so cleverly pinned and planted at Doug's desk is about our beloved teacher. And just like all the McGriddles heretofore mentioned, big dumb Doug McDonough vanishes from the classroom forever. They say he was sent to the principal's office. Some say he was expelled. No one knows for sure. But I do know that this heroic homeschool genius has vanquished the public school sixth grade bully, and justice may once again crisp her bacon at Granville Elementary and Middle School.
That's awesome. What is the story because we've talked about this before. He's a snot. He's a homeschooler. He thinks he's better than everyone else.
Yeah.
He thinks that public schoolers are knuckle-dragging idiots, and sees himself as just, better than everyone.
Is it part of the Travelers League?
No.
No?
No. It's not. I used the name of the school.
Did you?
Yeah. So, maybe there's crossover, but I doubt it. No, it's just he's too full of himself. He learns some hard lessons as he goes to public school, makes a ton of enemies, and has to learn how to make a few good friends.
Yeah.
And he has to learn how to humble himself because he's not better than other people. Basically, it's going to be the funniest version of my worst self.
Yeah, it sounds like me going from Willow Hall to Ezel Harding at the 8th grade.
Yeah. Going from the Tart Farm to regular school.
Being the BMOC at the Tart Farm to being the most insufferably nerdy, arrogant, snot-nosed.
Hate the kids, hate the teacher, hate the principal, hate the whole experience.
And everybody hates you, and you kind of deserve it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He totally deserves it.
Yeah. They were a little, I had people later on tell me, they were a little hard on me, but looking back on it, my self-pity was not entirely warranted, let's say, But to this day, Michael Davis, I ever find you, buddy.
Ooh.
Yeah. Actually, I think he died of a brain tumor, so God took care of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But if he's still alive, look me up. Door's unlocked.
Michael Davis.
Yeah.
Whoa, you stepped in it, Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll hand this off to you.
Okay, gotcha. All right, you read.
Before I say anything else, that'll
Right.
Get the DoD computer hacking spooks who moved in across from us interested in paying me a visit. Not that this will help, but here we go. So
good.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So again, welcome to the Dirty 30 episode. All right, here we go. Selling guns is not too dissimilar from selling hammers. I know, I've sold both. Both are made from the same materials: rubber, glass-filled nylon, polymers, wood, and metal, but only one is politicized. After all, no one's won a war with hammers in over 1,000 years. No one's afraid of hammers, even though FBI crime statistics place them and their fellow blunt object cousins at higher lethality rates for assault and murders. And yet, here we are, afraid to talk about firearms because they are so heavily regulated. And why? Well, kids aren't killing themselves with hammers. Suicide rates with hammers are at an all-time low. So it must be for the protection of children and the innocent, right? Well, there's the rub. Personal responsibility. No one wants to be told that the way to stay safe is to teach your children about personal responsibility. After all, that's Big Daddy government's job, when you're a single mother working 2 jobs to put food on the table and pay the rent. And where have the fathers gone? Good question. To be a father in modern-day America is to be marginalized, ridiculed, divorced, divested, and all but put out to pasture. And God help you if you are a straight white Christian man. Your tax dollars fund a mockingbird media that mocks you at every turn. All the while, women are indoctrinated to believe that they should strive to be more like men, that the mandate of motherhood is passé, outmoded, inadequate, and unfashionable. Pay for a third world nanny who is here illegally. Let public education raise your little illegitimate child, or just take the easy route and get an abortion. Anything to keep the 60% of the population working, paying taxes, and too tired or busy with their harried lives to educate themselves on the rigors and strictures of operating in a constitutional republic. All for the glory of democracy. A loathsome and fictionalized version of government that never has existed, never will exist, and by the grace of the Lord Almighty, should never exist. This is why so many patriots are stridently passionate about firearms. It's not just the great equalizer. It's not just that women have a fighting chance when they must travel down a dark alley, or raise the children at home while the fathers work. It's not just so that children can learn personal responsibility, safety, extreme ownership, and the skills of marksmanship, maintenance, and the mathematics of ballistics in order to be proficient protectors should their fathers be taken from them. It's a symbol. Firearms are not just a symbol of independence from tyranny, they are the talismans of heritage, legacy, family heirlooms, and pride in one's people. They are totems of the noble pathways into darkness, where the light of strength, wisdom, humility, and personal growth can be achieved. Those who seek to rule you will first seek to disarm you, because a defanged wolf is nothing more than a pet. Rendered helpless, you will need Big Daddy government to protect you where your husband, brother, son, father, or uncle cannot. And once you enter that contract, the tyrant's red right hand holds all of the cards. No cop has ever come in to confiscate a hammer. Because they are not regulated, no hammer costs hundreds of dollars. Power creeps. And to quote Glenn Cook, water sleeps, but enemy never rests.
Interesting. What inspired that?
A dirty 30.
A dirty 30? Nah, I don't see anyone get the feathers ruffled over that. That was good.
Well, then I haven't done my job, have I?
Well, there will be some people. I don't see how that would be.
No one watching this. Yeah. No one watching
Yeah.
this, unfortunately. So I was working in the gun shop on Saturday, and we had these 2 guys come in. It was so awesome. Like, we didn't really sell anything that day, but just this interaction alone was so worth the 30-minute drive to work, and the loss of sleep, it took for a Saturday. They come in with this single-action revolver, a Cimarron Pistolero. a cowboy gun.
Yeah.
Single action. Pull the hammer back. Pull the trigger. Pull the hammer back. Pull the trigger. And it's broken, right? So like we're primarily a gunsmithing location, so that's what we're known for. And they're from Unionville, Tennessee. So they come in, two of them. One of them a little bit shorter than a little bit shorter than me, and with a beard, looks a little older than me. Looks like he might be like some sort of a subcontractor or landscaper or something. And then he's got a buddy with him. And they mill around for a few minutes in the gun shop, and the buddy is weird. And I'll get to the buddy in a second. Yeah, junk. Yeah. So Jason knows because this will give Jason.
Referring to the gun, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right? The gun is junk?
I mean.
Okay, got it. No, it's good. Go ahead.
Yes. Look, here's the thing. Most people, it's sort of like, how you can kind of size a person up by the car they drive?
Totally.
Same thing with guns.
Yeah.
Guns are no different.
Yeah.
You can size a person up by the guns they have.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so these people come in, they want it repaired, and the short guy is the one with the gun, and he brings it up, and I do a gun check on it. And usually, like, and gun check is just where you, yeah, exactly, Jason gets it. The gun check is just where you do a quick check on the gun serial number to make sure it's not stolen. It's not hot.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything. It's not the same as a background check. And we do that anytime we take a gun in on repair for situations such as this. So it pops. And like normally when you do a gun check, it comes back immediately as approved, right? And if it says pending for like anything longer than 30 seconds, you're like, that's not good. You're probably going to get a call from TBI. And sure enough, TBI calls. And we confirm the serial number and everything, and they send PD down. So,
yeah, good.
So PD shows up. It's just funny.
This is a tiny podunk town in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a one-horse town. And that's kind of what I love about it, because, like, all the cops who come in, There
are like 2 traffic lights in the whole town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There actually probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1, 2. I apologize. There are 3.
Woo, big time. It's all those people from California.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. These 2 guys were not from California. Let me tell you, they were Whiskey Tango. Anyway, the cop comes in. He starts talking to the short guy who brought the gun in, and he says, "Oh, well, I bought it from a guy who's done some work for me." And cop's like, "Okay, well, do you know his name? And do you have his contact information?" And at first he says no, but then as he starts questioning some more, I hear him say, "Actually, I bought it from him, from the other guy who's with him,
who's present the whole time."
Yeah, the whole time. So then the cop shifts and starts questioning the other guy. Well, where'd you get the gun? What'd you do? And the other guy. Let me paint the picture for the other guy. Your height.
Okay.
90 pounds soaking wet.
Okay.
Skinny fat.
Okay.
Probably no, like skinny fat, like homeless skinny fat. Like,
okay, gotcha.
Lots of meth.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean, just
yeah.
No meth with a good time, kind of,
Okay.
And he's, faded, awful tattoos, white wife beater tucked into his pants with with the belt.
Class act.
Yeah. We're getting there. I haven't hit the coup de grace yet. Looks like he's probably at least my age, but aged another 20 years by the hard living.
Okay.
Looks like the kind of guy who like wouldn't mind getting arrested because it's 3 hots and a cot in some AC, for a couple nights, while he's awaiting arraignment. And dishwater blonde mustache, meth mouth. So and he talks like this. Yes, sir. I have social anxiety, so I apologize.
Oh, no. He didn't say that, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, this gets so much better.
Oh, man.
This is nothing. But the coup de grace was a baseball cap, blonde hair, shoulder-length blonde hair in pigtails.
No.
Blonde pigtails. You heard that right. Skinny fat. 6'1". Tattoos. Wife beater tucked in.
Ball cap?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it a trucker cap?
No, ball cap. Yeah. Trucker cap costs too much. Plus that won't keep the rain off. So the cop starts talking to this guy, And I mean, dude, he's a mess. He spent some yarn about like going up to with a friend up to Virginia. Yes, sir. I went with Billy Corbick. He lives right up the road off of he's the water meter or the water well guy. He lives right off the road off of Macon, and the cop knew who he was talking about. He's like, oh yeah, off of Macon Road over there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, sir. He's in the trailer. And we're all just like, oh god, of course he is. Yeah, of course he is. It's so hard to keep a straight face. This is just like you're just watching a train wreck happen.
Oh man,
live, and it's glorious. And so and he's just like, well, I just hope I don't go to jail. I'm just worried about, And he says it like 2 or 3 times to the point where we're like, maybe thou dost protest too much. Like he was like one step away from being like, if I like reach for your gun, would you take me to jail? Like, because my holes are kind of blown out from, I kind of want to, can you take me up the county because I miss Bubba? Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of deal, And so anyways, so he talks to him, then he gets a statement, and
what does it say?
I just bought you a bottle of
Legent.
Yeah,
solid burn.
Nice.
Oh,
thank you, Delta.
Nice.
Yeah, well,
nice.
That's okay. We're Delta. Yeah, I'm doing some work for Delta. He's going to be very happy about. So
awesome.
Thank you. And so he takes the best part was he tells the story. He and this water meter guy who lives in the trailer, we drove all night up to Virginia to go get this car for $4,500 that these guys were selling, And it's like, of course you drove all night because you hit the rocks a couple times, and you smoke a little rock and you can just burn through all night, baby. On that 8-hour drive up to Virginia or whatever it is, up to Virginia, and. So he talks about how he gets there, and while he was there while his friend was there trying to buy the car, and he was with him, they also sold him this broken revolver for like $100, And it turns out that like the gun popped as being stolen in Virginia. So like that part of the story actually probably is true. How he wound up in Virginia, what he was doing there, who knows? He said that at one point the truck or the car that they were looking to buy was like leaking oil, so they had to have it towed down. And and there's a little bit of a discrepancy. I'll spare you the details on like who was selling the gun, but we can all guess. It just was beautiful. And then so the cop tells him like, okay, well, I'll need a written statement.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, me and the other guy were just like, oh, this is gonna be beautiful. Written statement. You're gonna have this guy write now. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like a character out of an Old West saloon who, like, when they're like, make your mark, for the posse, and he just goes, that he's like that level, dude. He's like one step away. You remember Farnham from Deadwood?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like a tall, just a wormy, weaselly, craven, just stupid, is that guy, but like 6'1",
total reprobate.
Yeah, just scum. Yeah. Just one of those people who like, please get the vaccine. Please, please have 5G switch on and just switch you off like a light, So, anyways, I digress. So he's trying to write his statement, and he turns to the other guy I'm working with. He's like, "Excuse me, sir. How do you spell revolver?" And so my guy starts telling him how to spell revolver. It was funny. My guy got a little tripped up. He's like, REVOL. Oh, you got to slow down, sir.
I am GUILTY.
Yeah.
Revolver.
Yeah. And then did the best. This is the best for it. I thought that was bad enough, but then after that, he asked because he had to describe who he was buying it from. So then he also asked, like, how do you spell Corbick, which was the guy's name he rode with? And we're like,
ask him.
Yeah, ask
Cormick over here.
Call him. I don't know. It's a proper name, dude. Like, but like explaining proper names to this set is like, that's like teaching astrophysics to a monkey. Like, there are better things to do with your time. But then he starts describing, who he bought the gun from in his statement. And he asked my guy how to spell African. Didn't know how to spell African. Grown man.
That's what public school will get you, folks.
Don't do drugs. That's the moral of the story. And of course, my friend, like, who's like way more of a Chad even than I am, who was like he was like this close to be like, yeah.
No,
He didn't, but he was that close to it. So it just it was just such a train wreck. So he ended up getting his statement, and they don't take you to jail when that happens. Like they just confiscate the weapon and then TBI will pay you a visit later on. Detective came down and they were talking to him, and but it just on one hand it's like as a constitutionalist. You really bristle at a lot of the laws that are out there, But honestly, on the other hand, when you see ding dongs like that, you're just like, I don't want those guys anywhere near any of this.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll take the chaos of liberty over the security of slavery any day, but at the same time, you're looking at it, you're just like, yeah, this is one time where the system works, It just it was so worth it because it was such a train wreck. Just watching this guy.
What was the dude's name? First name?
I think it was Steven.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds normal.
Yeah, because at one point they asked the cop.
Pigtails.
The cop who, pigtails. He asked, if the address on his statement was accurate. He said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the same as on my license, and that license is legit."
Of course it is. No.
Yeah.
No need to look at it. It's legit.
Well, that's fine. Just, go ahead and sign it and date. Oh, okay, sir. Yeah, I'm sorry. I suffer from social anxiety, and so I'm just a little nervous. It's all right. I'm just doing my job, man. It's no big deal. You're not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. Oh, okay. And then just sign and date it right there. Excuse me, what's the date? Yeah, I look at my watch, and I'm like, it's 06/12/2021. 2022? When you're in that state of life, what year it is doesn't even matter to you, And dude, it's so awesome.
Oh my gosh,
Jason
Crazy.
knows. Jason and I worked together before, and he knows what those statement or confession, let's see, better than the paper with the dotted line in between the other solid. Yeah. Jason knows what that situation looks like. He's seen that before. Yeah.
Maybe we should have Jason on as a guest.
That's the world I'm trying to rope you back into, Jason. Just come work with me.
Love to hear that story.
There are a lot of them, dude. When we work together, Jason, you correct me if I'm wrong, but probably like once a month, maybe once a quarter, we would have something pop, and a lot of times, the person holding the hot potato, is not really the guilty party. Normally, because if you're really the guilty party, you're not going to take it to an establishment.
No.
If you stole the gun, you're not going to take it into an establishment.
You're going to sell it for cash and move on.
Yeah, and move on. If it's broken, just sell it for parts, whatever. Just
I guess.
Yeah, or you sell it to whatever, T-Bone and Ray Ray or Julio and Bobby Jean. Get rid of it. But so usually it's like the gun gets listed, someone else who's a normal person buys it, and then discovers, oh, it's screwed up, and then takes it into a shop, then it pops. That's why it's like it's always good to keep all contact information. Every, at least the person's name and number from who you got it, if not the email exchange and the text messages, so you can show it to whoever it is you got to show it to, a detective or whoever, so they can track it down. It exonerates you if things get really bad and whoever the investigators are or the agents are, they just get a hard on for you and they just decide, no, we can't find anybody else, because guilt and innocence never mattered. It's just whoever can close the books on the case.
Yeah.
Which might mean you, if they can't figure out, if they can't trace the lead, it circles back to you because somebody's got to pay for it. So they're going to make you pay for it. Justice doesn't matter. It's because these are, generally speaking, these are pretty awful people who are running this kind of
protocols.
Yeah, so they got their protocols. So hold on to all that stuff because you might have to get a lawyer to exonerate yourself. Yep. So, baby time. Yep. Copy that. Yep. Jason's pulling the rip. He's pulling the cord. He's out. He's
you bailing, Jason. All right, man. Thanks for showing up, sticking around for almost an hour. Appreciate that. That's huge. Thank you.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Very cool. Well,
yeah, Jason's good.
Adieu.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of what made me think of guns and hammers, because no one's ever going to come in and confiscate a hammer,
Nope.
and no one's going to pay $500 for a hammer either.
Nope.
But at the same time, no one cares about hammers, even though hammers kill more people than guns. So
I believe that.
yeah, just like swimming pools kill more children than guns, but you don't see any of you idiot mothers out there complaining about regulating swimming pools. But oh no, we'll all jump on Facebook and talk about whatever Wet Works agent has decided to waste a bunch of whatever.
Yeah.
So here we are. Yeah.
All right. What should we go on to next?
Let's do the topic.
Go to the topic.
Yeah. What's your biggest writing inspiration? Who inspired you the most, or what inspired you the most?
I think it depends on which book.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or which book or which series? Because Dustin Brady was really inspiring for the writing of Hacker Jack.
What does Dustin Brady do?
He wrote Trapped in a Video Game.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. He's a huge self-published guy in that genre.
Yeah.
A middle grade science fiction.
Okay.
He's the king, really.
Got like Tron for kids.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
For the Travelers League, what inspired me to do that? My history of loving just everything traditional fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my kids to go the heck to sleep and tell a story.
Play that Samuel L. Jackson song. Yeah.
That poem.
Yeah, that's
bedtime
right.
poem.
Yeah.
But it's
Jason, you're headed for that territory soon. You're headed for that go the F to sleep territory.
And there's MJ DeMarco is a guy who is kind of like one of these motivational guys. He's self-made millionaire, and he sells a book called what's it called? It books about stop working for other people, work for yourself.
Oh yeah,
you can do it. Do the hard work. That kind of guy.
Yeah.
And
self-actualizing.
Yeah, just you have what it takes to be successful if you're willing to do the work. And he wrote this great book. I can't remember the title of it, but the voice he takes as he's writing this book and the snarky way he tells it was the inspiration for Henry Halfman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then
that makes sense.
For Easel Bancroft, I'm about a third of the way through this. Easel Bancroft is Christopher Moore. Christopher Moore is he wrote a satire of King Lear. He's an American author, but I think
you told me about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't get any inspiration from like Orwell.
Yeah.
Or Huxley or any of those guys. I love reading them. Brad. What's his name? Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get inspiration for my writing from those guys. I just love to read those books.
Yeah.
But all the classics. Classic fantasy guys. Yeah. As far as who inspires me, what inspires me is always the underdog. The underdog always inspires the story to me.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the underdog coming out ahead, whether it means he has superpowers or just a big mouth or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He comes out on top in the end.
What was the thing about Henry Half Moon that made him special? Was it like a Percy Jackson? He's like the descendant of somebody important kind of thing? Or was he just in the right place at the right time, average Joe kind of deal?
Yeah, right place, right time. He was...
Or is that a secret that is like part of the...
No, not really. No, he was a normal dude, but he was being tormented by this thing. He didn't realize it was a spirit. He didn't realize the demons been chasing him around, making his life hell.
Really?
But he had a fascination with the esoteric, the forbidden history, fringe stuff. He had kind of fascination with that. And as he learns more about it, he kind of gets entangled in all the things that he's learned and steps foot into a realm that he has access to the spiritual realm once a month by doing this particular ritual. And while he's there, he gets to like slay demons.
That's right.
But he can only do it once a month. But it's not because of any unique thing about him. He doesn't have any superpowers.
Why did the demon haunt him? Any reason?
Don't know. Yeah. Maybe I think it's in the book. I think I touched on it. They knew somehow that he would be the one coming after them.
Oh yeah.
They were trying to stop him somehow.
That's cool because that's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way.
Because if they hadn't have messed with him, maybe he wouldn't have developed an interest in the esoteric.
Yeah, he was, because he was trying to figure out what is this thing that's bothering me. So he goes and seeks out answers from people that give him way too much knowledge.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
So it bit him in the butt. Not him, but it bit the evil forces in the butt, if you will.
Hoisted by their own petard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Hoisted by my own petard.
What about you?
Whatever. Yeah.
That was awesome.
It's like Sean Connery doing
Patrick Stewart.
Doing Patrick Stewart in Star Trek. By the way, you know who Picard was? Like in history?
No.
You know who Professor Picard or Dr. Picard was?
Never. No.
He was a guy in the early, either late 19th or early 20th century who went up in a balloon. Like 10 miles up in a balloon.
Wow.
Into like the stratosphere. And said everything was flat.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Crazy.
Yeah. Look up just look up like Flat Earth Picard and you'll find, or Picard Popular Science magazine, because that's where the article comes from. That's how they know. There's footage of him. There's camera footage of him, but I think like 8mm or something like that. But he went up in like a specially crafted balloon to get like air samples and all this other stuff, so he could get up as high as he could. And I think
that's over 80,000 feet.
He went whatever. It was super high. Yeah, whatever it was.
You should be able to see the curvature of the Earth from that height.
And yet,
somebody's going to be on YouTube tonight.
Yeah, he's big in the FE community.
Okay.
Yeah, Picard. Look it up. It's pretty interesting.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You're welcome, internet.
You just tripped over the rabbit hole.
Yeah, fell right in. So I think Pressfield was the biggest one.
Huge.
Gates of Fire. Pressfield taught me that you could be introspective and intellectual and artistic, like with a sensitivity towards the beautiful, while at the same time being masculine. He like that whole what's the dude's name? John Lovell, Warrior Poet Society. He's a gun guy. He's in the gun world. He looks like a masculine version of Nathan.
Our cousin.
Yeah. I love you, Nathan. I
love you, cuz.
Yeah, I just had to rag on him a little bit.
That's good.
But he does. When you look at him, you're like, wow. If you jack Nathan up on roids and shaved it and like cut his hair, he'd look like John Lovell. You know? And he's even in.
Took the dress off.
Yeah. It took the lycra off. I got in trouble on Instagram a little while ago because I was hating on people who ride bicycles all the time. And like some dude was like sending me messages like mad at me because I was making fun of him. Here's the thing: if you ride a bicycle, like if you're like one of those dudes who dirty 30, baby, I don't care. You're lucky I'm not burning this. I'm not doing a torch and burn op on this whole thing. But if you ride a bicycle around like during like high traffic hours, rush hour, or if you're on like a 2-lane road and cars are having to go around you, it should be legal to hurt you. It should be legal to run you off the road.
It happens here in town all the time.
Yeah.
It's a 2-lane. We're totally congested. We're overpopulated for the area. We don't have new roads. We have no shoulders.
Yeah. And
they're 2-lane roads, bumper to bumper.
Dude, I almost saw a wreck 2 days ago because of it.
Yeah, and the cyclists will just ride on the on the side of the road, just in the side of the lane, because there's no shoulder.
Right.
And there's cars coming both ways.
Maybe you shouldn't go down that road.
They're doing it intentionally. They're doing it because they want attention or whatever. They want to show off their spandex. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's a power move.
But
because
I'm not saying they deserve to get hit, but if they get hit, I ain't stopping.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not calling the ambulance.
No, run them over again. Yeah. Yeah, it should be legal to like move them with your vehicle, off the road. You should be able to hit them is what I'm saying.
I think you should be able to get in front of them and slam your brakes so that when they hit your car, you can
file
an insurance claim.
Brake check them. Yeah.
Brake check.
Yeah, brake check them so then they can. Yeah, you can sue them.
Yeah,
it's a good idea. See, this is why like Nick is more successful than I am.
We'll talk more about this strategy.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, we'll have something to bug the senoritas about.
Hold on, let me write that down. Things to talk about the restaurant.
Write this down. Yeah.
Bicycles. Got it.
I do. I hate them, And I mean, it's one thing to like get your kids and like go to the park or ride around your neighborhood on a Saturday, or like on the sidewalk or like a nice bike lane or something. I'm talking about the guys who like put on their Lycra and they put on, their little, their little helmet and their little sports watch with their little water bottle, and they ding ding on your left, and they're like, and you're having to like, drive around them to this self-entitlement. Yeah. The arrogant.
Just because you should doesn't mean you, or just because you can doesn't mean you should get out there in traffic. Just because you have a bicycle that should be treated like any other motorized vehicle, it makes everyone else treat your bicycle
like you're special.
Yeah.
These are people who are not, you're not special in your real life.
Claiming equal, they're claiming like equal status to motorized vehicles.
Yeah.
But it requires all the motorized vehicles around them to take extra precautions and slow down. It's a huge disruption.
Yeah.
You're a menace to society is what you are.
You are, and you deserve everything bad that happens to you. It's the same mentality that I'm really going to go dirty 30 here.
Dirty 30.
This might be the last Goslings episode.
Oh no, hold on.
It's okay. I'm not going to say anything.
Brace for impact.
Yeah. It's the same mentality that honestly, it's why women should not.
Do you want some more?
That's probably appropriate.
Let's
that's
do
the
it.
Lord telling me.
We might as well.
So I only defer from these things, or I only detour away from these things out of my love for Nick. Like, that's really the only thing that protects a lot of you people from what I really think about things. But even then, every now and then, my Philadelphia is not enough to save us. So here's the thing: people who do this with bicycles, it's the same level of like people who think that women should be in the military and law enforcement. Because here's the thing, like, you don't have the bone density and you don't have the muscle mass. So like, I'm 5'8" on a good day. I'm 230 pounds. I'm a little fat boy, but I'm still a guy, right? And I don't go picking fights with dudes 6'2", 280 pounds. You know why? Because I'll get stomped on, I mean, it's like basic survival instinct, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing like why women should not be in any role in the military, ever. There's never a good reason for it, ever, under any circumstances.
Nurses?
Nope. Women should not be. No, there's no reason to. Like, because you can't have a warrior society and introduce women into the mix without making it a problem. That's just how it is.
Well, that's why women on ships, traditionally speaking, is always a bad idea.
Yeah, and if your daughter gets deployed overseas, yeah, like, and you're gonna lie to yourself and tell you that it ain't happening. Guess what? It's happening, and it's happening a lot. So do not let your women join the military. Plus, what a weak and pathetic society it is, where our protectors have to be the same ones who birth the children. Because guys can't birth the children. So our only like existential merit is in like protecting the people who birth the children. That's the whole point. That's the game. That's how it's set up.
Yeah.
And so you get these guys.
That's how it's designed.
That's how it was designed. Yeah. Yep. And so you get these guys all the time who are like, oh, well, I knew a female instructor in the Marines or I knew a female cop who, she could judo you into oblivion. I'm like, yeah, I bet she could if we're putting on pads and we're having like a little like, 3-point and you're out, or like tap to, when I'm in a position where, but like you get the blood fury, the blood madness. Yeah. We're in a back alley. I ain't going to jail. Yeah. And Rosalita comes up to try and, arrest me. Yeah. If I don't want to get arrested and she doesn't have some 6'4", 400-pound, King Kong backup dude, guess what? I ain't going to jail. And guess who's getting beat unless she's got a gun, So, like, maybe we shouldn't be lying to ourselves as a society is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Well,
we shouldn't be lying to ourselves as far as a society, and maybe cyclists shouldn't lie to themselves about who's really in control. Because if it
yeah.
weren't for lawyers and police reports, if it were law of the jungle, and law of the jungle, you don't want to run a society off of law of the jungle, but it's not a bad idea to base a lot of your non-aggression principle morality off of like, well, what would the law of the jungle dictate here?
Yeah.
You know? So like,
well, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you notice
see what I'm saying? Like-
cyclists won't ride in places where there aren't lots of witnesses.
right. Oh, there was some soft-eyed little millennial fop who used
Soft-eyed millennial.
Yeah. Soft-eyed millennial fop who used to come into the first gun shop. Yeah, foppish. Yeah, British. Adam knows what I'm talking
okay.
about. Foppish.
Yeah, I should get back to our chat here.
Yeah, we may have burned a lot of
what have
bridges
we
in the
done?
chat. Baby, yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, D disagrees. That's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, D's really good to me. So
about
whatever.
the cyclists.
Yeah, or maybe about the military. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. I still love you. But like we had one guy who came in who like I don't remember where he was, but it like made the news. He got hit a couple years before, or like a year before this, by a motorist on like some back trail.
Was it here?
Yeah, it was here. It was
Natchez Trace.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So he used to come in,
and the guy in the truck that clipped him intentionally took a video of it, put it on social media, and it took about 2 months, and then he got caught.
Yeah, and it's like, and I remember that guy like that.
He was as dumb as the cyclist.
Yeah. The cyclist would come into the shop all the time, or every now and then, and I just wanted to beat him with a hammer. Like he had that kind of face. He had that, do you know who my dad is kind of face. It was that, like, you know what I mean? That like soft, spoiled, sheltered, kind of never been punched kind of thing. You know, so that's why he became a cyclist, because he's like, oh, I'm getting a really good workout and I'm going to make everybody bend to my will while I'm on the road.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he deserved
this. Might be hard to believe, but I have been punched.
Yeah.
You know, you probably wouldn't expect it with this mouth. But I have actually been punched in the jaw.
Me too. Yeah.
So
whatever.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna stop me. You know.
And you know, I
doors unlocked.
Learned some lessons from that.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. It'll teach you some lessons. Yeah. It'll. I tell you what the gun shop taught me really more than anything, and this is a valuable lesson. This is gonna sound really bad, but it's also true. Dirty 30. It taught me how to hate. Because here's the thing. You're lying to yourself if you say you don't have any hate in your heart. You're lying to yourself and you're wrong. And you're lying to everybody around you. You do hate. Okay? Whether it's good or bad, a sin or a virtue, I'm not going to weigh in on that. It probably is not good most of the time. But it taught me a more articulate and less controversial way to say it is it taught me how to be judicious with my judgment.
Because you better judge a character.
Because all of us judge people.
Sure.
All of us make character assessments.
We do.
You have to be able to, figure out, you have to be able to size people up. And some people are loathsome, subhuman scum. Welcome to real life. You don't want your industrial strength hairdryer, you pick it up. That's the reality. And so, like, working in the gun shop really taught me, like, how to just be like, that person's a dirtbag.
Yeah, and income level has nothing to do with that.
No, it really doesn't. No, I mean, like that little like cyclist, that little fop who used to come in, like, dude, his daddy was loaded, so he and his brother would come in and they would spend buku money.
Yeah,
and they spend buku money on hunting shotguns, where they're like spending $30,000 to go pheasant hunting, in Connecticut or some crap, whatever.
No offense to anyone in Connecticut, but I'd never live there.
Oh God, no. That's the hilarious thing about like New England. It's like where the country was founded. It's where this comes from.
Yeah.
And yet, it is so far divorced from
I don't know how anyone
what
could live
this
there.
is.
I don't know how anyone could live there. What is there?
Nose to the grindstone, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah. So,
all right. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm going to make it so that everybody wants this to be a 30-minute live stream.
Just so you know, and Jonathan will bag me up on this.
Yeah.
We absolutely love everyone watching us right now. And we have opinions like anyone else.
Yeah.
You know? And that's all we're saying is that, we're just kind of trying to think these things through, figure them out.
Yeah.
And that cyclist, 30 grand, probably should have bought a car. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy a car and buy a stationary bike.
Dude.
You're not hurting anybody with a stationary bike.
You want to see
Maybe
the sides? You want to go down the Natchez Trace? Get a
Yeah.
helicopter, fly over. It's beautiful.
Yeah, just do a flyover and then go running like a real man.
You can afford it. You can go run. Yeah.
I can't. I got bad knees.
Just stay on the path.
Yeah,
Just don't go in the road, jog in the street.
The whole thing can be summed up by stay in your lane. Women shouldn't be soldiers. Women shouldn't be cops.
And
no one should be a cyclist on a major artery.
never see female cyclists. I never see them.
Yeah, because they know better. Yeah.
Well, it's because maybe women are just smarter in that regard. But I say that, but you know what? I see women joggers in the middle of the street all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Around here?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
But the ones that are really brazen,
yeah,
the ones that are like jogging in the street next to the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
Those,
they're
always really attractive with a really tight get up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with the little
They're showing
pants.
it off.
Yeah.
They're showing it off, and they're running in the street to make you slow down.
Yeah, and they're probably married.
I don't care.
It's sort of the same thing as like the pretty girl with the Instagram account who never shows her husband, but always has her like little posy pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you trying to accomplish?
All of her followers are dudes.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's just a bunch of hounds.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I did see that. I did see an egregious runner 2 days ago, though, on the road where I live.
Yeah.
2-lane road, no,
the long one that goes from. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So there's like no shoulder, right?
Yeah.
It's over by the church.
Yeah.
And I saw like these cars having to move around him. Dude, like I've been running. I mean, obviously not lately, but I have been running for extended periods in the past. And here's the thing: if you're running on a road with no shoulder, guess what? When cars come, if you're a decent human being, you get off the road and you just run through the embankment for a little while.
Yeah,
it's okay.
When did the parental training of, hey, get out of the street, there's a car coming?
Yeah.
That I tell my kids all the time. When did that leave?
Yeah, and this was like a 40-something-year-old
I'm running in the street. Here comes a car. Well, this was going to have to move around me.
And he did. He didn't. I watched him not get out of the way, and I watched this silver F-350 have to drive around him in a 2-lane road with oncoming traffic coming in. And this was like a 50-year-old dude. Like I slowed up to get a look at him. It was like he had a balding ring around, and he was like he looked like a middle-aged man. No excuse. He wasn't like some 19-year-old. Yeah. So, yeah. We should like heat this up and do a branding.
This is our final episode. Dirty 30.
Yeah. I'm just amazing. We still have 4 people watching.
I know.
To be honest with you.
I know.
I figured
it's
at least
amazing.
like 2 would be like, I'm
love
sick of this.
I've never loved 4 people so much in my life.
Yeah, poor Nick. Nick really hung in there. I probably should honestly buy him dinner tonight. For all the long suffering. But so, anyways, if you're still with us and you would like to continue in this awesome adventure, you can subscribe to our channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, get the notification, do all the things. Like the video, leave a comment. If most of you who watch this, you watch after the fact. We usually have like probably half a dozen people at the moment who watch during the live stream, give or take.
Yeah.
And then probably 80% of our views generally come in from people who watch after. So we do this every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then if you like it, if you want to comment, if you want to join us, then subscribe and then get the little notification. It's very rare that we don't do that. Like I think this next Sunday for Father's Day, we're no-go. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, here, no, we can't do it here because I'm gonna be out of town.
Oh, okay.
Rayon and the kids planned a thing.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna skip next week.
Father's Day.
Cool our jets.
We didn't skip Mother's Day, but that's because my wife wanted to be here, and I fulfilled my Mother's Day obligations the day before.
Yeah.
I won't say anything else. But we took care of Mother's Day, and it was great. We had a great day. And but we did it here so we could live stream. But Father's Day is an out-of-town thing for me. So I mean, you can still,
Yeah, I might do something.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
I will say this too, if you don't mind me doing this. If you're one of the 5 people watching,
Hey, we went up one.
we did. We went from 4 to 5. It's fantastic. It's how you grow on the internet. Just like Gosslings, just do this.
And cancer.
If you put your Instagram username in the comments of the YouTube video, I'll mention you. We'll mention you.
Oh yeah, we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, give you a shout out on Instagram.
Absolutely. Yeah. Might even be fun to like do a contest. Feel like throw your name in the thing and maybe get a T-shirt or get a sticker or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Who knows? Whatever.
Yo, now we have 27 people watching.
That's right. Wow. What went up?
It's a record.
We cracked the algorithm. Didn't even have to.
But yeah, I'd be happy to.
Who owns YouTube?
Cool.
It's not Zuck. It's not the Zuck. It's not
YouTube?
Dorsey. It's not.
I don't know.
It's not Bezos.
Google owns YouTube. It's who owns Google.
Oh, who owns Google?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Soros.
Yeah,
Soros
YouTube has like a director. There's like a director or CEO.
Oh, that's right.
The YouTube division. Yeah. So I don't know. But
fair enough.
Yeah, but subscribe. We love you, and if you want to share things during the week, the Gosslings group on Facebook, Gosslings.com Facebook.com/the Gosslings. Join the group, and it's a private group, but it's easy to join. There's no ticket to entry whatsoever. The bar is way down here, so just click join. You're in, and you can post whatever you want, say whatever you want until we don't like you anymore, and then we'll kick you out.
Yeah, and we'll strike you down.
Yeah,
I like it.
We like to keep it loose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Let's see. We should do. Have we made the T-shirts public yet?
I think we mentioned them briefly. We have. You mean on Teespring? We can do that tonight.
Yeah,
we'll do it tonight. Goslings T-shirts. You can't hack a typewriter. We're gonna have these. We're gonna put these up on Teespring and make them public.
Yeah.
So you can get these. I don't know if I should do it with the symbol on the back or not.
I like it.
Okay, we'll do that.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what other designs? Do we have any other
T-shirts? I got the other. Where's the other T-shirt?
Oh, it's over there on the typewriter.
So I did.
This one's kind of cool.
This was a much simpler one that I designed. That is it's a basic V-neck. And it's got the Goslings logo on it. I need to redo this, by the way. The Goslings logo sits a little low. I think it maybe needs to come up to maybe about right. It needs to come up basically right under the V.
So if I were to put this on, it'd be on my belly, such at a point where that circle would make like a coaster.
Yeah, it sits like right here.
I could set my bourbon there.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect. Yeah, we need to move it up. If it could be like above the sternum, so people with guts and fat fricks like me. So they can have a logo that's here and not like bending into a weird oval,
right?
Because of their belly. That'd be perfect.
That's kind of what I like about my my tortilla belly. Is because like whenever I sit if I get how do I? There's a way to do it. I'm watching the feed. Let's see. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Then it just says ungrateful. If you go back and you watch a lot of the live streams, there are times where I get relaxed. Like this, and all it does is say ungrateful on it.
When your boobs conquer your belly.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, you would have think that this would have been designed a little bit better, or maybe it's my fault for being fat. I don't know.
Well, it's definitely my fault for being fat. Oh,
yeah, man. The giveaways are a good idea, Adam. Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think maybe like a T-shirt or something. I just did a test run. Sort of like what Nick did. I just ordered a couple of these just as a test run. So I think we might move the logo up and then make both of them live, and then then send them out.
Yeah, let's do that after dinner tonight.
Yeah, be good.
Come back here and fix it up.
Yeah,
cool.
No news on the other thing yet on the interview with Pressfield. I've been I had emailed him. I need to follow up, I think, and try and nail down a date. So that'd be a good thing to figure out a Saturday maybe that works for you.
Okay.
Because he can't do Sundays. That's his off day. And I don't want to mess with that. So we got to find a Saturday, which means that when we interview Stephen Pressfield, actually, do you want to click the
thing? Absolutely.
So we have an interview coming up with Stephen Pressfield. which is huge. And so we're trying to schedule it right now. And I haven't spoken to him via email in probably a week and a half. So I need to get with him and nail down a Saturday, possibly. I'm hoping we can do it on a Saturday because I think it'd be the easiest.
Okay.
But if it needs to be a day during the week, maybe an evening, after work.
Yeah.
Basically, what'll happen is we'll still do the live stream on Sunday, but what we'll probably do is have the press field interview, the 30-minute interview, go live some other day and some other time during the week, and then we'll either re-upload it or we might rebroadcast it on Sunday, depending on how we want to play it. You know? So,
or what they're open to too. I mean, it'd be cool to.
He was okay with doing a live stream.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, he was very accommodating. Yeah, yeah. Mr. P is like,
Yeah, he's to be looked up to.
Yeah. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Pretty exciting. It's super stressful too. Like thinking about like I got 30 minutes with the man. Like what do I ask?
Make it count.
Yeah. What do you like? I mean, seriously, if you could this is like
I've listened to just snippets of some of his other interviews. And I'm like,
Yeah.
crap, I was wanting to ask that.
I know, right? Yeah, there's so many questions I know that have already been taken.
What's your favorite typewriter? What kind of ice cream do you like?
You like Coke or Pepsi?
Yeah.
Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Do you remember that one time you wrote Gates of Fire?
It was
so cool.
That was awesome. Yeah. You should just do like a Chris Farley skit, just make it awful. Just totally waste his time, burn a whole golden opportunity. I mean, it's like a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's,
We were wanting to adopt you into our family. I have it right. Will you sign this if I send it to you?
What's your favorite Star Wars character?
So are you a Gandalf guy or more of a Dumbledore guy?
Yeah, you like Dumbledore or Gandalf? Do you know Snape dies?
Yeah, are you Gryffindor? Are you more Slytherin? What are you?
Yeah.
Because we know what's the other. Because we know you ain't no Hufflepuff.
Yeah, we know you're not Hufflepuff. Yeah, he probably would be Hufflepuff. He's like, I'm just here for the fun. It's like whatever. Are you Sith or Jedi?
Oh, speaking of that, so we decided to pull the plug on the and probably everyone watching is going to think I'm a complete overbearing lunatic.
You pull the plug on Harry Potter?
Christian father. Yeah, we're pulling the plug on Harry Potter.
I don't blame you.
Here at the Goss House. And you know what it was that I was listening to Blurry Creatures.
Yeah.
They were interviewing a guy who does deliverance ministry.
Oh yeah.
Casts out demons and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying people are going to get demon possessed or demon harassed if they're reading Harry Potter or anything like that. But he said that it's been a huge deception. And he mentioned the tattoo on J.K. Rowling's arm. I'm like, what? I'm like, come on. She's like, no, there's a tattoo. So I look it up, right?
Yeah.
On her right wrist are the words Salve et Coagula. It's Latin for tear down and rebuild. If you look at the image of the Baphomet, that's what's tattooed on his arms.
No kidding.
Yes, the word
really?
Salve et Coagula.
I'm telling you, man.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
No.
You think here's the thing about J.K. Rowling, and this is true of like just about everybody who's popular. Who like
here come the chats.
Yeah, if you're a household name, here's something I want you to realize because we were having this conversation at the shop a week ago. There are no like really legitimate success stories. They don't really happen. J.K. Rowling, in fact, there are PR companies who develop, what do they call it? Origin legends, I think is the term for it. So basically, you have your origin story, and it's almost never really the case. Yeah, it's just you have to be part of the club. And that club involves being a couple of different things by choice or maybe not. But someone like J.K. Rowling is not like a rags to riches story that like very clearly she was tapped. Like this is a vessel. Most of these people are vessels. In fact, honestly, I don't really know anybody who's a household name who doesn't have some sort of tie to something. And if you dig, you'll find it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They've all sold their soul to the devil.
Yeah, you got to sign on
In a way.
Yeah.
In some way or another.
Yeah. So
everyone's like, I don't want to comment.
Yeah. I mean,
that's okay. You don't have to.
And look, J.K. Rowling, like the Harry Potter things are like they're amazing books. I remember one time Cameron. This is like 20 years ago. I was waiting for Cameron, or 15 years ago, waiting for Cameron to get ready. He was like 15. We were going somewhere, and I didn't have anything to do, so like I just sat down. We were going out to eat, and I just sat down and like picked up the first Harry Potter book. Next thing I knew, 15 minutes had passed. Like they're really well written.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're
eminently readable. I get why everybody likes them. Prisoner of Azkaban is an amazing movie. You know, the acting, the production value, like. But here's the thing: you have to remember, this is a beast system.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, if these people become household names, there are dark forces behind them that are pushing them in front of you. Whether it's the Mockingbird media, whether it's the Illuminati, whether it's the Babylonian usury lending debt system, whatever it is, the Baphomet, whether it's the Satanists or the Luciferians, all of these people have done something, given something, and it's just there's a reason why they're there. And so I don't blame you at all. In fact, honestly, I was actually kind of surprised that you guys were on the Harry Potter thing at all.
Yeah, we went back and forth for a long time.
I don't blame you.
And you got Christian that super sweet Lego set,
sure.
Hogwarts Hall, and which was awesome. And he's read the first, I think, 3 books, and we watched the first 3 movies, and he just like, I don't want to read book 4. They're getting darker, I think.
Oh yeah, they get more dark.
And that's probably him being like, I'm not sure. He's got a stronger, he's got more character than his father. I'll tell you that.
Well, the thing is, like, everybody's got a different line, right? Like, work out your own salvation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for some families, Harry Potter's fine. Just like for some families, Star Wars is fine. Mm-hmm. Even though Star Wars is totally Luciferian Hegelian dialectic. It's totally, it's not, there's nothing Christian about Star Wars. But we grew up with Star Wars.
Yep.
Yep. And I got really bummed out, by the way, when I was like 9 years old and I got my first Bible. And I found out that the book of Luke was not, the Gospel of Luke was not Luke Skywalker. I remember being legitimately disappointed there were no lightsabers in the Gospel of Luke. So there you go. But like everybody's got their thing, right? Like, if for some families, like Adam and Eve, you guys are like fine with Harry Potter. Like, sure, I get it. Like, there's whatever. And then for families that aren't okay with Harry Potter, it's like, yeah, I get that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to have some really strong,
and a lot of it depends on your children.
Trying to find the episode. It might be a special members only episode.
Yeah.
Dang it! But if you want to listen to both sides of the Harry Potter argument, if you're a person of faith, go to at Blurry Creatures.
Yeah.
Right. Go to their podcast. Listen to some episodes.
Opened your eyes, huh?
It did.
Yeah.
It shocked me. It shocked me. It really shocked me. Yeah, I know. Oh, Adam. Adam. Really? So Adam Burrow from the UK is not a Harry Potter fan. Thank you, sir.
That means a lot coming from Adam.
Yeah.
Adam, I would really actually, I don't care if you do it here or if you send it in like some Instagram messages later on. I would actually be really interested. Or maybe in 2 weeks when we do this again, make a mental note of that. Maybe we could have Adam on. And Adam, you could give us like your spiel on what it is about Harry Potter that you don't like.
Yes, and Adam too. The next time we have you on too, I would also like to. I want to hear about why you are. Maybe you're just sick of it, right? Because you're there. I mean, you're in the UK.
Yeah.
You're probably expected to support the Harry Potter, the J.K. Rowling cause, because she's had tremendous success. But I would also like to hear maybe what your dad's opinion is. He's an Anglican priest.
Oh, dude, I would love to hear what
I'd love to hear.
dad
Yeah, both you and your dad. Kind of what your take on that is.
Yeah,
I feel like we have a compatriot here on our Harry Potter.
Lefty Lucy. Yeah, Harry Potter is a Luciferian little bit. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. D makes a good point. Like the kids love it though, and that's like the really hard part. I don't know.
That's the deception, maybe potentially.
Well, and that's like the hard part of being a parent is like, how do you navigate that as a parent? Because like honestly, when you really boil it down, it's like just about everything but the Bible is tainted somehow.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. Oh,
like Star Wars, G.I. Joe,
Marvel. I love Marvel.
Oh, dude, Marvel's a big one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like it's all Nephilim.
Yeah.
Mythology.
Yeah.
And we love it. We watched this weekend. We watched WandaVision. It's all about Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, with Elizabeth Olsen. Man,
and
she's amazing.
She's great. She's fantastic.
Did you ever see Wind River?
No.
The movie with her and Jeremy Renner?
No.
Where they're up in Alaska?
I like him though.
Dude, we got to watch Wind River. You would love it.
Okay.
If you haven't seen Wind River, it's the same guy who made Sicario and Hell or High Water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sicario was fantastic.
Yeah. So anyways, so you guys
last couple episodes of WandaVision were really like deeply witchcrafty.
Yeah.
And my 9-year-old.
She's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and even Eva May it's the first Marvel thing that Eva May's ever watched that she was interested in. And we get the last couple episodes, and it's just like all deep witchcraft. I'm like, whoa, come on. And I had to have a conversation after the show with my daughter and be like, look, you can pretend to have powers. That's okay. Be a Marvel character.
You can't be a witch.
But this whole thing of pretending to be a witch and pretending to do spells and incantations, I'm like, look, supernatural stuff is real, and you got to be careful. We can't pretend that. That's the deception.
Yeah. The deception. It's that thing from The Usual Suspects. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Exactly right.
Convincing, if people believe that there's no spirit, it's all fun and games. Ouija boards are nothing. Then it doesn't. All of this stuff is just make believe, and it's fun, and there's no power behind it. As a Christian, that's not true. But it's like. But for each family, it's like, where do you draw the line? And each family's different, right? The comments, by the way, it's actually really funny.
Lefty Lucy's here. Hey, she says the kids love what's forced on them.
A lot of times, lot of kids.
There's a lot of truth to that, actually.
Well, but forced on them by who? Forced on them not by their parents, but by like pop culture. Like I remember.
Yeah, both.
But you know what? Also, like I remember growing up. I resisted a lot. Like it was.
You're a contrarian.
I mean, yeah, like, and not like in a cool way, just like in a way that didn't work out too well as far as making friends. I don't recommend it, but like, it's really like who influences you the most, and then also what you agree to sear your conscience over. So like. I was into Star Wars, which arguably is no better than Harry Potter.
Sure.
I've seen some really strong arguments for like Star Wars being completely Luciferian, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's not like the Baphomet tattoo of
right.
On George
But there are
Lucas
arguments for both sides, is what you're saying.
There are, but I remember like all my friends really loved He-Man, and He-Man was like weirdly, I don't know, it just was like too witchcraft or too like occult for me. It was too fantasy. It like had this weird, I don't know. I didn't like He-Man. I didn't like Masters of the Universe. I liked the movie, but the TV show was decidedly more like occult than the movie.
Interesting.
The movie was more like Star Wars. It was more like Back to the Future meets Star Wars in a lot of ways, But I never got on with that. And then really, truth be told, though, like because Nick and I always were friends. I always really played off of whatever Nick was interested in.
Yeah, we were interested in the same stuff.
Yeah, so like when Nick was into Star Wars, like that guided me into Star Wars. Same with G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it's influences.
It's influences, and where do those influences come from?
Who's the bigger influence? The parents?
Yeah, the parents or
the family
culture.
Or pop culture.
Yeah, and man, that's a fight.
It is a fight. If your kids are in public school, that is a huge fight. Yeah. I have a very unique situation in which we homeschool.
Yeah.
So I have tremendous influence over what my kids think is, acceptable and not acceptable. Tremendous influence, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Because if they were in public school, it'd be a harder fight to steer them towards or away from what I think is either good or bad.
You're constantly having to, play defense on that. And Adam and Dee, you guys have Adam and Dee's comments are funny because you got to tell like Adam says like Harry Potter's not allowed in his presence, and so that's kind of funny. And that happens a lot. Like in my life growing up with our dad and my mom, it was kind of different where like mom was like, nice, Larry, real nice. And dad was like, oh yeah, you can go see Jurassic Park. You can go see Terminator. I'll rent Terminator 2 and bring it home. And he's only 10, but it'll be okay. maybe it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
I turned out fine. but like
We turned out okay.
there's always that like
Alright.
good cop, bad cop thing
Yeah,
in
for sure.
parents and everything.
Sure.
And everybody's different. Like there are tons of families who I think can get on with Harry Potter just fine and it doesn't matter. And then there are other families who like because of the makeup of the kids psychologically, and spiritually, like God pricks the conscience of the parents and is like, maybe not this. So I don't blame parents who are even more conservative than I would be and say like, oh, we don't let our kids watch Star Wars. I'm like, well, I love Star Wars. I would have no problem with my kids watching Star Wars if I had them. But I know parents who won't let their kids watch Star Wars, and it's like, yeah, I get it. That's not a line for me.
I
but
appreciate
that's a line
that
for
about you. I appreciate,
because my mom used to make the joke all the time about like, world would be perfect if we could all just raise each other's kids.
Right.
Like it's just, I don't know. They don't come with a manual, so and
No,
every kid's different. That's where it gets really tough. Is that like, who's okay with Star Wars and Harry Potter and who's not?
Yeah.
And what if they're in the same household?
Yeah.
And then how do you negotiate that?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's just between spouses. That's really difficult. There can be a lot of tension there over that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Money, in-laws, kids, religion, and then all the miscellaneous things. I know she's nervous. There was thunder. We heard thunder just now, and my dog has tremendous anxiety with rain and thunderstorms. Her jaws were like doing that type.
I know. I heard it a second ago. I was like, what's going on? She's shaking.
Here, let me move this so you can see our sweet Shelby
having a panic attack.
She has a lot of anxiety with storms. She peed on my stairs last week. Yeah. I cleaned it up.
Yeah, the foster dog.
You can still smell it.
Yeah, the foster dog peed on the rug.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know. It's okay. It'll be all right. So,
it's all right.
Anyways, well.
That was a good
little rant.
I'm glad we went down that,
got an extra
that trail.
Out of that.
Heck yeah.
That's a tough one. I would be interested in seeing what Adam and Dee have to say about how they negotiate that, because like Adam doesn't like it, but Dee lets it and trusts her kids, and you guys have a pretty healthy respect for your kids, and it makes sense because like your kids seem really cool. It's pretty cool to
it's interesting. Rihanna is more I don't know, she's a little more on guard, a little more strict with that type of stuff than me. I'm a little I'm not saying I don't care. I totally care. But I'm a little more easygoing with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And when Harry Potter came along, my wife was like, "Yeah, sure, Harry Potter, it's a huge success. We got into it."
Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
like,
and it's crazy. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, I saw the movies. They were great." And part of it was when my wife and I were dating. One of the first movies we ever went to see together was the first Harry Potter movie.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, that's how long we've been married. And so maybe some of that was influencing. Oh yeah, I want my kids to enjoy this. It was a good movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
But she's a little more cautious about that sort of thing than I am.
Yeah.
But then when I heard that podcast on Blurry Creatures, at Blurry Creatures, check them out, at Blurry Creatures. When I heard that podcast and I started digging into it a little more, I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to take any chances.
Yeah, that Baphomet thing, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
Because that shows that you're in the club.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And
it's a the guy who drew that famous, it's almost like a woodcutting, if you will, of the Baphomet, that famous picture that we all know about. He was like a 18th century, 19th century occultist.
No, really.
And that phrase, solve et coagula, is a Latin phrase. It has to do with alchemy. It comes from alchemy, where you tear down and build up. You tear down the elements and then rebuild them into, essentially gold or whatever.
Gold.
But it's also the theory. It's also the mode of operation, if you will, of the occult and the New Age movement and the Illuminati. They want to break down our culture, for example.
Yeah.
Break down what makes America great and rebuild it.
Yeah.
In their in whatever image they want it to be.
Yep.
To break down and rebuild. So anyway, and you know what? And it's an alchemy thing, and alchemy, whatever. I don't care. But the fact that an occultist thought that it was central to the belief of the Baphomet and the occult in general.
Yeah.
Enough so that it's the only thing tattooed on the arms of the Baphomet.
Yeah, right.
is concerning to me. And that J.K. Rowling would tattoo the same phrase on her wrist makes me wonder about her and what she's into.
And the motives.
You know, that's not research.
And
that's
the
a
agenda.
tattoo. That's taking something. That's owning something about what you believe when you tattoo it on your
and
body.
It makes you wonder how many other people who are content creators for stuff that that are household names. Again, going back to that, what's a household name?
Yeah.
You know, how many other people have something like that in the mix somewhere? And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, all that stuff, you know, you don't make it. I really just don't think, maybe I'm being a cynic, but I really don't think you can make it just on your own merit. I don't think we really live in a meritocracy. I think you get tapped.
I do too. I think there's.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying that as like a
some
jaded
kind of
loser, unsuccessful writer. Like,
yeah, I know.
Like, you know, it's just
I'm not saying this, not because I'm looking at myself and my own lack of results in my life,
right,
but because I'm looking at the world.
Yeah.
And what it requires of people to get to that
well,
level.
And that's
that
where,
level.
And I'll probably have to end on this because we got a jet, but but that's where I don't get the greed thing, because I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that, because it's like, what has God provided me? I have, obviously, got food in my belly, you know, I got a roof over my head.
More than I need.
Yeah. Like, I got a roof over my head. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm not want for anything.
You got people that love you.
Yeah, I got people that love me, you know? And so it's like, what more do I need?
Yeah.
You know, I'm okay with this being what it is.
Right out of the gospel, man.
Right. Like, I mean, it'd be great if it just took off and it became super big and I could afford a house on the beach and just all the whatever. Just everybody's got their little lottery checklist, you know, they go down. But really, I think so much of this is like, so much of what propels these people into these Luciferian occult circles is the ingratitude, you know? And some of these people, granted, like some of these people really came from very unfortunate circumstances, came from nothing. Like our father was one of them, you know, dad was
poor.
Yeah. Like literally dirt poor, like dirt floors,
floor poor.
Yeah. Like in ways that we can't really fathom.
Didn't even have a toilet in their home. I mean, absolutely barefoot.
You
most
know,
of the year.
And so, and he did the Lord's work, and God rewarded him for it.
Yep.
And there was, you know, there's a price to be paid along the way for all that stuff. But it's like, man, it's like, can you be content with what you have? You know, and at that point, if you're pursuing an artistic passion, would you still pursue it if you knew that it wasn't going to become your mainstay? That's a hard question we all have to, because it's a dark question, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's...
Yeah, sure.
And everybody struggles, and everybody will go through like a certain amount of time for themselves that they're willing to struggle, you know? Like whether it's a year or a couple years. Like Adam talks about how he was ready to hang it up before Empyrean Falling, which Adam may totally regret not doing now, even though he's amazing at it. And... You know,
he breathed his own fresh life into it.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
you know,
it's awesome.
And the same thing with D. Like D makes these killer resin crafts. You know, we got like bookmarks on the way.
Dude, her stuff on Instagram, it's awesome.
Like this, she made
us a coaster for the Gosslings. Look at this.
Like D makes all of this stuff. It's super cool. What resin by _dreamer?
Yeah, it's at resin by _dreamer.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah, you gotta check her out.
So like Adam and D are, I call them double burled, because they're awesome. They're for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, like who are these people in the chat? So like basically just like all of our friends.
Yeah.
Adam is our narrator, and D makes all of our resin merchandise for a bunch of different stuff, and she makes a ton of other stuff too. Yeah. And she's awesome at it, right? And you wonder, like, as somebody who does that, I mean, look, I could totally be wrong. You could like totally knock it out of the park and become like a major sensation, but it's that Dave Chappelle thing of like at some point somebody's gonna come along and ask you what your price is, you know, and it's either worth it to you or it's not. And I think for the overwhelming, like 98% of the people who it is worth it to them, they sign that Faustian bargain, you know?
Yep.
And you don't want it to be that way. Like, dude, I would love for the Goslings, like you, me, D, and Adam, you know, to all like just become huge,
Yeah,
right? Because
that'd be
that's
cool.
the dream,
Yeah.
you know. But the question that I have to ask myself all the time, because I've lived with this for 20 years now, is if that doesn't happen, will you still do it? You know?
Yep.
And that's a question only you can answer as a writer.
Yeah.
You know, or as a creator, as an artist.
Yep.
And I think if the answer is no, I don't think it's the thing to do. Ultimately.
I agree.
You know?
I agree, because you're doing it either because you were, in a way, called to do it, purpose to do it. It's something that was unique, and it was put inside you, right?
Yeah.
It came from somewhere external.
Yeah.
For you to do, regardless of
we're on a mission from God.
Whatever the world rewards you or not, right? You know, and I agree. You know, I will say, you know, if someone came along right now, big company came along and said, we want to buy the Travelers League and make it like this is a franchise we want to own, I would say, make me an offer.
Make me an offer. Yeah.
I would say make me an offer for sure.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm not going to continue writing. Yeah. And if that never happens, and it probably won't, but if it never does, I'm still going to keep creating stories.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I'm still going to keep writing.
Yeah.
You know, I just have, you know, the more I do this, the longer my list of things to write becomes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the thing about Dad, I feel like I really should do that.
Mm-hmm.
I really should do that. You know, the Hacker Jack books and Easel Bancroft and all these other things I'm working on. There will always be new things.
There are
to work on, but you know. But I just feel like, you know, as when I turned 40, you know, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I found it.
Yeah.
Finally, after trying all these different things,
Nick did try a lot.
I tried a lot of different things.
Nick was definitely the explorer.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty impressive.
I was not afraid to look foolish because I lived in that zone.
Yeah.
Like all my life, so I was unafraid to try new things.
Yeah.
And I tried everything. I just, you know. And this is the thing that has stuck. I've never really been so excited after starting a thing like 3 years later, and I'm still so excited about it. Like, yeah, that's good. Finally, I found it.
And that's rare, you know, because usually you have to keep trying, and usually you end up screwing it up along the way, and you find things that don't work, and it peters out. Usually, it doesn't last more than 6 months.
Yeah,
you know, that's how it is for people. Like whatever you're trying, usually doesn't last more than half a year. You know, and that's why like I'm always impressed by like Adam and Dee's work and what they do, because like even though like Dee has only been doing it for a few months, maybe, I don't know. You might have been. I've only known about it for a few months. She's really good at it, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, dude, you're gonna outsell us all.
Yeah,
like,
probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond is gonna pick up your stuff in no time. You know, you'll be the star of Pinterest inside of a year. And Adam, like, Adam's voiceover work is amazing. Like, dude,
it's fantastic.
Those previews Adam did on his YouTube channel are really, really good. You know, and so I can't wait, man. It's cool. Even if no one buys anything, I will just have a house full of resin. Yeah. See, that's the artist passion. You know,
I love it.
Dee gets it. Her stuff is really cool, man. Like, we had a little snag with the shipping, but since December. Yeah, okay, so about half a year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, cool. A little over half a year. I can't wait to get Dee's bookmarks in. She did like all this really cool packaging for it.
Cool.
Like, yeah, dude. I mean, she and Adam both. It's like no wonder they're married. You know, like they're just a couple of little Moabs just laying waste to every target they set their sights on.
I love it.
They're killer. We're so fortunate to have the Burrows in our corner, and you can be too. By the way, if you're like an aspiring writer, if you're watching this and you have a book that you want to release on Amazon and then you want to get it on Audible, you want it in audio format, contact Adam Burrell.
Yep.
Adam Burrell is our narrator. He's from the UK, and he sounds like Alan Rickman, which was a point that Nick noted several months ago.
Yeah.
And Adam's great. And then if you want any sort of like cool resin trinkets or merchandise or anything themed for your brand, contact his wife, Dee Burrell. They're both on Instagram. What is it? Adam Narrates and Resin by Dreamer.
Yep.
On Instagram. I think they have Facebook pages too. I'll post all their links in the description later on tonight. But yeah, they're awesome, and they're worth every bit of your time, and they make some amazing stuff. So
agreed.
Anyways,
agreed.
Well, it's almost nacho time. So,
it is nacho time.
What do you have? What do you have coming up? Anything?
Well, this week I'm going to continue writing, doing the writing at Starbucks, which is great. I'm going to continue cranking out snarky, sarcastic, homeschool Easel Bancroft scenes. Yeah. He's going to get entangled in a murder mystery.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he makes friends. He has a horrible experience, but there's a bigger story behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm working on this week, and just I've been focusing on I'm changing up my marketing game a little bit, so I've been focusing a little more on that. Yeah,
that's good.
And yeah, that's it. That's all that's coming up for me.
Nice.
Wife and kids are going to be out of town Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be batching it, grinding away at all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's it. What about you?
Walking around naked in the house, drinking coffee,
of course,
terrorizing the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like every day for me. That's great. I guess if we have time, we'll come back and release those T-shirts.
Yep.
Redesign them, make them public, so that we can try and market those. And then Sasquatch lips. That's the big one.
Okay.
Got to keep hammering away at that.
I'm so excited about this.
I called my buddy Farmer John. I called John earlier in the week and was like, okay, so middle of the night, dogs barking. You got to go, like investigate. What do you grab? Because John's like, he's got, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
So
cool.
So that's the fun part of like doing this kind of thing is like, calling up all of your friends who you're going to put in the book and be like, okay, this happens and this happens. What do you do? What do you grab? What gun do you grab?
Yeah, smart. I like that.
So, yeah. So that's coming up. That's the next chapter.
Cool.
But yeah. All right, D, good evening as well. I hope you have a great week. Look forward to talking with you guys throughout the week. Adam, love you, buddy. You as well. Hope you're doing well. And then Lefty, man, thanks for joining us.
Yes, Lefty Lucy, good to see you again.
Delta, good to have you on. And then and Jason, is good to have you as well. John, possibly David. I think there are a couple of other people who might be watching who are lurking. So thank you. Great interaction in the chat. Always feel free to comment. Just because we don't look at it in the moment because we're off on some drunken tangent, doesn't mean we don't actually.
Not true.
We will check at some point.
Yes, we will. We appreciate it.
Anyways, well, hope you guys have a good rest of the week. We will not be doing this next Sunday, but I might do something. I don't know, since I'll have the whole day to myself. We'll see. Might post something. But if nothing else, then we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep.
I'm Jonathan.
Nick.
We are the Gosslings, and we hope you guys have a good week. We'll see you in a couple Sundays at 4:30 Central Standard Time.
You know it.